This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Starantino.
And I'm Mark Mullins. We start tonight with a topic that's difficult to talk about, but it's becoming more important to do so.
Suicides among young people, even children, is a growing issue. And last year, South Madison Community Schools had 5 suicide attempts at its elementary schools. And in September, 2 teenagers in the county took their own lives on the same night. James Harless, a paramedic and firefighter in Anderson, has been called to many of those deaths. Now he and others are working to create a peer support program for students who may be considering suicide.
It's something that's unfortunately affecting the whole country. It's not just localized here, but it is something that, if we can address it, even if it's just getting somebody a phone number, a text line, a website that they can go to get some information, if that's something that maybe they didn't know prior and at least gives them an outlet and someone to talk to, then we've at least accomplished something.
Harless and other first responders have started handing out pamphlets about suicide awareness. They hope that discussing the topic is better than avoiding it.
And new tonight, mental health advocates are getting the word out about a special training session to help anyone learn the warning signs of suicide.
RTV6's Cameron Riddle shows you how QPR is teaching people to take action before it's too late.
As the number of Americans considering or attempting to take their own lives continues to increase at an alarming rate, mental health advocates are now teaching intervention. Much like CPR, QPR training teaches what could be life-saving measures.
The purpose is the same in many ways. So QPR stands for question, persuade, and refer. CPR is designed to keep someone alive until professionals get there. QPR is very similar. The intent is to keep people alive when they're thinking about suicide until they can get professional help.
David Berman with Mental Health America of Indiana says QPR training is now a necessity. The free training session aims to teach anyone how to be what he calls an active bystander, someone who witnesses a problem and then does something about it. In the case of QPR, it's recognizing the warning signs of someone having suicidal thoughts and what to do next. He says the training is a course everyone should take.
And I always say it boils down to one thing. Do you know people? If you know people, you should be QPR trained.
Taylor Morton took the course and says her mind was blown, particularly when learning about the high rates of mental health issues and suicide battles in Black and brown communities. She says it opened her eyes to an issue families like hers never talked about.
Because it's like, wow, people who look like me are not even being treated by this because nobody even knows that they need that help.
The QPR training is free and open to everyone. The next class will be held this Saturday here at the Mental Health America of Indiana offices in downtown Indianapolis. Just look for the bright yellow building. Organizers only ask that you call ahead to let them know that you're coming so that your seat can be reserved. We have their contact information right now on our website, theindychannel.com. Working for you in Indianapolis, I'm Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Now to the Storm Team 6 forecast. Let's give you a live look outside from our Weather Now camera network. This one on Salesforce Tower, looking out to the west. Kevin is tracking some changes, including a warm-up on the way.
Yes, temperatures today, Mark, were cold. We only made it to 33. That's actually below average as far as a high temperature. A quick warm-up tomorrow, back into the 50s. The winds will gust over 30 miles per hour. The third significant change, rain will have returned by this time tomorrow night. There's the strong wind that will gust 30 to 35 miles per hour, bringing in the warmer temperatures. We'll start just around the freezing mark in the morning. By the time we get to the afternoon, lower 50s from Lafayette down to Columbus. You'll struggle to hit 50 north and east. Let's talk about our rain chances. They go up quickly after sunset tomorrow. That is the first shot of rain on the way. We'll have several opportunities. Talk about heavy rain potential shortly.
We are 3 days into Indiana's legislative session, and education is one of the top issues lawmakers have been tackling. That's welcome news for the thousands of teachers from across Indiana who rallied at the State House less than 2 months ago. Now that Congress has gotten to work on their demands statewide, RTV6's Cornelius Hawker shows you what teachers can expect to pass this year and the initiatives that will most likely have to wait on.
Red Fred really helped. That rally really helped us to rally the troops, as they say.
Ben Yoder was one of the more prominent teachers at November's Red for Ed rally, where they were asking legislators for things they say will allow them to be better teachers for students.
We're continuing to try to put pressure on legislators and keep that momentum going.
The 2020 legislative session started on Monday, and one of the first orders of business was to do something about iLearn, the state standardized testing. Less than half of Indiana students met expected achievement levels from last spring's test. House Bill 1001 would protect teachers from being penalized for their students' iLearn performance. It would also put in place a 2-year delay in using iLearn scores for school ratings, giving schools time to adjust from the iSTEP exam.
That is a very positive step in the right direction. We have always said that these tests being coupled to teacher evaluations really isn't fair.
While many teachers are celebrating the iLearn bill, they know pay raises are more than likely off the table. But Ben, he's remaining optimistic.
Even though this isn't a budget year for us here in Indiana, we still believe there are things that our legislators can do to help ease some of the burdens that we are facing right now in education here.
I've talked to Ben 3 times now, and each time he's made it very clear. There are thousands of teachers who feel just like him. They love their jobs, their students, their community. They're hoping legislators see and consider that commitment.
We intend to continue to remind them in nice ways that this is something important, that this is an investment in our state's future.
Tomorrow morning, Senate Democrats plan to hold a press conference at the State House about their teacher pay raise bills, but Republicans will more than likely shut that down because they do control the Senate. Governor Holcomb says that he also plans to address teacher pay raises in his State of the State address next week, but he hasn't told us exactly what he's going to say or what he plans to do. Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, RTV6.
And House Democrats tried on Tuesday to give teachers a one-time bonus of around $4,000 each from $291 million in unexpected state tax revenue. But that was shut down by Republicans, saying they agreed with Holcomb's office that it would not be best to use that money for that purpose. Instead, the funds will be used for college campus construction projects.
There are new efforts at the State House to address bullying in your child's classroom. House Bill 1167 would require charter schools and private schools to adopt anti-bullying policies if they accept funding or financial assistance from the state. Public schools are required to report bullying incidents to the State Department of Education, and many charter schools are reporting as well. But private schools are not sharing their bullying numbers. Representative Greg Porter filed the bill.
If you're receiving state dollars, you should be held to the same accountability as everyone else. You should not get a pass. And as we all know, bullying happens in schools all the time.
Call 6 Investigates found half of Indiana schools did not report a single bullying incident last school year. Porter hopes to address that issue as well.
Police are investigating whether a shooting that left a 13-year-old boy in critical condition was intentional or an accident. Officers were called to Windhill Drive, southeast of 42nd and Post, around 4:30 this afternoon. They say family members were inside the home at the time. Police say no matter the circumstances of this shooting, it's a tragic reminder of the importance of keeping guns out of the reach of children.
We don't know the circumstances prior to this. We do know that he was shot. But it is up to us and anybody that owns a weapon to make sure that our weapons stay safe so that no one else can get hurt.
Gun owners can get free gun locks at several places, including the Marion County Sheriff's Office, Riley Children's Health, and the library.
The House is set to vote tomorrow on a proposal to limit President Trump's ability to take military action against Iran. Administration officials briefed members of Congress today on the intelligence that led to the airstrike that killed a top Iranian general. Many Democrats harshly criticized the meeting, and there was mixed reaction among Republicans.
Without commenting on content, my reaction to this briefing was it was sophomoric and utterly unconvincing. And I believe more than ever, the Congress needs to act to protect the constitutional provisions about war and peace.
One of the messages we received from the briefers was do not debate, do not discuss the issue of the appropriateness of further military intervention against Iran. I find this insulting and demeaning, not personally, but to the office that each of the 100 senators in this building happens to hold.
I thought the briefing was very helpful to have the Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, and the other intelligence officials really walk through just how long of a history Soleimani had of inflicting terror and murder.
A war powers resolution would force President Trump to keep Congress informed of military action and give the legislative branch the right to suspend the operation.
Neighbors tell RTV6 a rehab facility is cleared to open in Anderson. They say the Board of Zoning Appeals gave the project its approval tonight, and the center is set up to be running by the summer. We told you yesterday many people are against the facility opening near their neighborhood, and they plan to continue fighting it.
Police are sharing clear surveillance pictures of a bank robbery suspect in Lafayette. They say this man robbed the Chase Bank on South Street near Sagamore Parkway just before 6 o'clock on December 30th. If you recognize him, you can report information by calling 765-807-1200.
We really need some more safety on John Bart Road. See, there's no sidewalk.
New and next, a Boone County boy takes a safety concern straight to the mayor, the twist that's preventing the request from becoming reality. And a little later,
I'm looking forward to that opportunity of joining these great group of guys and trying to do something special.
The countdown to Vic's return is on. Could the Pacers keep the excitement going by getting a big win over an Eastern Conference rival? And that was not the only big game on the hardwood tonight.
It's a little early in the Big Ten season to call this a must-win for the Hoosiers, but they came up with one tonight against Northwestern. I'm Brad Brown in Bloomington. We'll show you how they did it coming up on the News at 11.
Look at AspenDental.com or call today.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
This is inspiring me. I think I'm going to write a letter to our mayor.
tonight, when the power of children meets the power of the pen, a fourth grader is using loose leaf and graphite to draw some attention to changes that he'd like to see in his neighborhood. He's concerned about safety. He's worried someone could get hurt if the city doesn't do something about the lack of sidewalks in his Lebanon neighborhood. And tonight, his handwritten note to the mayor is making the grown-ups take notice. The note starts quite simply. Dear Mayor Gentry, I'd like to inform you John Bart Road needs a sidewalk.
It's like not safe. Like people have to go over to the other lane when people are walking by, and I was like, there's a chance of car crashes and it's a chance of people getting hit. So I'm like, we need a sidewalk on John Bart Road.
So Calvin Fox saw a problem, picked up a pencil, and did something to put change into motion on his suburban street.
I mean, it's not every day that a student from fourth grade writes a letter to the mayor.
You as a child can make change too. And so, you just have to get involved and get your voice out there. So when he said he wanted to write the letter, we said, sure, we'll look up the address and help you do it.
The fourth grader from Perryworth Elementary School sent Lebanon Mayor Matt Gentry a letter explaining how a sidewalk would help keep joggers and dog walkers safe in his neighborhood. He also said it would help decrease the chance of car crashes.
And we had to run across the yards. I'm thinking if we had a sidewalk, I wouldn't have to go through people's yards, and like maybe dogs won't have to chase after us much.
It's a note Mayor Gentry found difficult to ignore, especially since Calvin's last line of the letter reads, please write back.
He let me know what his opinion was. He thought, John Bart Road needed a sidewalk and essentially wanted me to do something about it.
Well, Mayor Gentry posted Calvin's letter to social media, praising the initiative of the 10-year-old boy. The mayor says walkability and safe pedestrian walkways and trails are a priority as Lebanon expands. But unfortunately for Calvin and his neighbors, there's a snag.
He actually does not live within city limits, so I can't really kind of get out the street department crew and go build a sidewalk for him tomorrow. But it's something that as we grow as a community, we do want to keep that in mind.
For Calvin, it may be his first lesson in red tape. But one thing is for sure, he has raised an issue and put it in front of government leaders.
Sidewalks can really do a lot to safety, is the thing.
A note, polite, direct, and to the point, showing we can all push to make a difference at the local level. Well, Mayor Gentry says he has responded to Calvin and put a note in the mail. Even if the Fox family lived in the Lebanon city limits, the mayor says the sidewalk project would take a couple of years. Their neighbors would have to sign off on the project too. But for now, the neighborhood is under the jurisdiction of Boone County. We're sharing Calvin's letter with the county commission. We'll let you know how they respond.
Kevin Gregory joins us now, and we've been enjoying a lot of sunshine lately.
That kind of disappears tomorrow, and Boone County and the other 91 Indiana counties will enjoy a warm-up. It will be significant. We'll hit 52 tomorrow, temperature close to record warmth on Friday at 59, the record 62, and we'll be in the low 60s Saturday. The big push of warmer air comes with a lot of moisture. Our rain chances skyrocket tomorrow night and then wet. Periods of rain Friday and Saturday, and I'd say at least a couple different waves of heavy rainfall. These are 4 different computer models forecasting rainfall for Indianapolis. 3 of the 4 have between 2 and 3 inches of rain. The outlier right now pushes that up closer to 4 inches of rain. For the rest of central Indiana, Terre Haute to Peru Northwest seems to be the line or axis of heaviest rainfall, but that changes with each model run. No matter where you're at, you can see it's going to be a soaking rain and increase the likelihood, especially by later in the day Saturday, of river flooding, streams and creeks coming out of their banks, obviously. Temperatures, lower 50s tomorrow. The big change from today, the wind will be strong and out of the south. 11 o'clock tomorrow night, rain in central Indiana. The first push of rain right through by 7 a.m. Periods of rain during the day Friday, but I think Friday night into Saturday morning, there's a line of heavier rain. And watch 7 a.m. to early afternoon, another big push of rain. And then finally, Saturday night, we start to transition to a rain-snow mix and maybe even a little parting shot of some light snow as the storm system pulls away and the colder air starts to move in. Friday temperatures right at 60 for the high. As we step into the weekend, the warmest temperatures will occur in the first half of Saturday. They'll be steady or slowly falling in the afternoon. Sunday, 40 degrees for the high temperature. And as you look at the 7-day forecast here, temperatures next week bounce back quickly. Sunday's dry, colder. Monday, 48. We're back at around 50 degrees or warmer Tuesday and Wednesday with the next chance of rain. I worked hard to find any blast of cold air. I had to go to January 18th, so that's a week from Saturday, and you can see well below zero in the northern plains, temperatures close to single digits in portions of Indiana. We'll wait and see on that, but just looking out for you to see where winter is.
Well, we have to look way out.
Wait a minute, I didn't see winter, I saw Dave.
Dave's over there in the other part of the studio.
I swear I just heard Kevin say something about how he worked hard. Is that accurate? Is that real? Okay. Hey, good evening. No question, a wild night of hoop in the state, beginning down in Bloomington, where IU was trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They were 14-point favorites against Northwestern. Brad Brown, as IU fans are all breathing a collective sigh of relief tonight.
So tell me if you've heard this before. A good start, a bad finish to the first half, an iffy second half. Sounds like the last couple of games for IU. The difference is this time they had the run to close it out. It came up with a 66-62 win over Northwestern to even their record at 2-2 in the Big Ten. The first half certainly looked very promising for the Hoosiers as they built a 10-point lead 12 minutes into this one. An Al Durham dunk had the place rocking. Assembly Hall was feeling it with a 29-19 advantage. For the third straight game, they kind of bonked going into halftime and trailed 34-31. But this time IU was able to make a run in the second half. Justin Smith's basket and foul with the free throw tied the game at 59 apiece with just over 2 minutes to go. And then a minute later, an alley-oop slam by Trace Jackson Davis capped a 21-point evening and put the Hoosiers up for good. They would close it out with the 4-point victory and a big win at home to even their record in the conference.
Instead of getting their offense started with 28-27 seconds, it was more like 21-20. So they had to speed up their cut, speed up what they were doing. So I just thought we just had a big emphasis on the ball, and we locked in on D.
I think it's going forward. It's a good idea to use our length and our strength inside to draw fouls and put pressure on the defense inside.
Very concerned with our group right now, just in terms of where our brains are, where our minds are, and what we're about. They can come and go with wins and losses. We got to start competing a lot harder because This is the toughest league in America right now to win a game.
Their next conference test comes up on Saturday here at Assembly Hall. It'll be a big one against Ohio State. The Buckeyes come to town as one of the best in the Big Ten so far this season. At Assembly Hall in Bloomington, Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Brad, thanks. Meanwhile, one of IU basketball star pupils is on the mend in Indy. It's been nearly a year now since Pacers Victor Oladipo suffered that ruptured quad tendon. He says he'll return to the floor January 29th against the Bulls, and he's learned plenty since.
The way I play and going out there and putting on that jersey affects not only me and my family, but it affects a lot of people. And I never would have really understood that if I didn't get hurt. So obviously I knew it was important to put on that jersey and play this game at the highest level possible. But now I appreciate it even more because I know how many lives it affects.
Back 3 weeks from tonight. Pacers hosting the Heat tonight. Vic taking his usual spot at the end of the bench. Got a good look at this brewing duel between T.J. Warren and Miami's Jimmy Butler. They tackled a couple of times. This is the biggest, though. Offensive foul on Butler. Warren comes back at him, starts clapping. That drew T.J.'s second tech to the game. He's ejected. Butler's blowing kisses the other way. He had 14 points, 7 assists tonight. Warren ended up flipping him off as he left the floor. Can't show you that. Rough game for the good guys. Miami wins 122-108. Pacers at the Bulls Friday night. Finally tonight, first and foremost, from the Indy 500, our buddy Robin Miller reported that a Fernando Alonso is getting closer and closer now to a deal with Andretti Autosport to run the team this May, and just might run a couple of IndyCar races after the 500. That's good news. 38-year-old Spaniard remains retired from Formula One, where he remains, of course, a two-time world champion. Back to Jimmy Butler, though, and T.J. Warren. Word of words afterwards.
I bet.
They're throwing 4-letter bombs each. So can't wait for the rematch, although it's going to happen not till March. Gotta wait. Gotta wait.
Heated tonight.
Just a little bit.
And a bird to boot.
Yes.
All right.
Bye-bye, birdie. On the way out.
On the way out.
Coming up, how a partnership between McDonald's and Ivy Tech will help people across Indiana pay for college.
At Ashley Home Store, this is home.
Tomorrow, we'll learn more about a partnership that will provide job training and college tuition assistance for people across the Hoosier State. McDonald's and Ivy Tech will announce a statewide alliance through the Archways to Opportunity Education program. McDonald's employees who work a certain amount of hours will be eligible for tuition assistance, and Ivy Tech will offer credits for some on-the-job training and classes, as well as counseling. More details will be shared at tomorrow's announcement at 10 a.m.
A reminder that the Indiana Department of Transportation is hosting a hiring event tomorrow. It goes from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the INDOT facility on Brookville Road. Applicants are asked to bring a valid copy of their commercial driver's license. We told you back in November the department needs more workers during the winter to dry plows and patch potholes. But crews also do things like take care of highway signs, fix guardrails, and other tasks to help keep you safe on the interstates. And starting tomorrow, you can sign up to volunteer for jobs that will put you in the middle of the action during the month of May.
Today, hundreds of One America employees celebrated the kickoff of 500 Festival season. Planning starts now to get ready for the mini marathon and other events. May is special in Indianapolis, as you know, and that's thanks in part to thousands of volunteers. It's also special for those volunteers.
It's a really fun opportunity to give back, but also have some pretty fun experiences for yourself.
You can find a link to the 500 Festival website by going to the RTV6 app and clicking on this story. We will be right back.
Silvers. Fish, yeah.
30s today, but 50s tomorrow. Rain holds off until tomorrow night, then periods of rain Friday and Saturday, but temperatures right around 60. Tomorrow, again, we'll see more in the way of clouds. 46 at noon, 52 the afternoon, high temperature. See, I'm still working hard.
You are still working hard.
You always work hard,
the whole day, and tomorrow, too, you get more of it.
You can say it all you want.
I work hard to stay on time so Dave gets all his sports.
You don't need to put him down to make you look better.
You do work hard at that.
I'm going to leave you with this.
Good night.